Hello, everybody. It's Dr. Jackie, and I wanted to spend a couple of minutes with you this morning as we transition through the final few days of December and moving into January. And this is a common time of the year where people set intentions and they make resolutions, and really, in many ways, are looking to hit the reset button. So it's a new year. It's often a good time to be elevating your intentions and commitments. Typically, it's to our health and well-being. And so I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about symptoms and possible causes as to why you might be feeling the way you're feeling. So typically through the holiday season, we might indulge in certain foods and beverages that we either wouldn't be consuming in the amounts that we're consuming, or we might be eating or drinking things we wouldn't normally drink throughout the year or eat throughout the year. And oftentimes what this can create for us is we might gain a few pounds over the holidays. We might feel extra tired or extra brain foggy. We might even find that we're extra moody. We may be anticipating or not be looking forward to the new year. So we might notice symptoms that are either new symptoms for us or an amplification of how we may have been feeling sort of leading into the holiday season. So, things like depression and anxiety and headaches and brain fog and joint pain and constipation or diarrhea or both, skin conditions, psoriasis, eczema, nerve pain, joint pain. These are all typically symptoms, can be symptoms of inflammation. And that inflammation quite often is rooted in our digestive tracts, in the health of our gut. And so what I wanted to talk to you specifically about today is a concept that you may or may not be familiar with, and that is non-celiac gluten sensitivity or gluten intolerance. And why this is relevant is because as we transition into the new year, this is a common time where I see people wanting to go on a diet, quote unquote, or they may be deciding that they're going to cut out certain foods from their diet, or they're going to increase certain foods. And so this is a really important time to be understanding what is at the root of a lot of the symptoms that we might be feeling throughout the year, but is often amplified during the holiday season because we are, in a sense, aggravating the inflammation that we've been dealing with the whole year. But when we add, let's say, more alcohol or more sugar or more carbohydrates or more refined foods, and you combine that with, let's say, more inactivity, a disruption in our sleep, maybe there's some stress over the holidays. I mean, the holiday season can be a really great time, but it can also be, a complicated time because there can be certain stressors that we don't normally deal with during the rest of the year. So what I'm hoping that you will take away from my message this morning is that we want to really focus on not necessarily cutting back calories in the new year so that we can maybe lose a few pounds that we might have gained over the holiday season, but to understand that you probably haven't gained, fat over the holidays. You've probably aggravated inflammation that was potentially there all along, but with the sugar and the carbohydrates and the alcohol and the lack of sleep and the stress and the inactivity, you've probably aggravated inflammation. So the key to, I would say, hitting the reset button will be to get to the root of the inflammation that you may have aggravated over the holidays, but that has maybe been there all along. And understanding that gluten, even though you may not be celiac, if you're celiac, you're obviously not eating gluten, but you can have varying degrees of gluten intolerance or gluten sensitivity that can contribute to anxiety, depression, brain fog, irritability, mood swings, joint pain, constipation, diarrhea, skin conditions. Gluten can be a contributor to that, in addition to other factors that are affecting the health of your gut. So just to understand that just because you may not be celiac, it doesn't mean that you may not have a gluten intolerance or a gluten sensitivity, and addressing that in combination with a more well-rounded gut health protocol and some support around, what to eat versus what not to eat, because it can be really hard to rethink the grocery store and to rethink your recipes in the kitchen when you're eliminating some of the foods that might be causing inflammation. So I hope that helps you understand that some of what you might be experiencing post-holiday season is likely an amplification. It's like if you had embers burning in a fire and you added a little bit of gas, you're going to see a bit of a exacerbation or a little bit of a flare. So if you're looking for support on what to do about that inflammation, then obviously the doctors here at True Potential can help guide you through that. There is an anti-inflammatory program, a 3-week program that you can access independent of any of the doctors here at the clinic. And that is a program that is designed to really help simplify and walk you through the varying degrees of how to, over time, cut back on those foods that are possibly driving the inflammation, but also how to support an anti-inflammatory lifestyle. So I hope everybody had a beautiful holiday season. And as we transition into the new year, please know that those small changes that you make day after day after day are what are going to help move the needle for your health and well-being into 2022.